In this video, we'll be looking at the payroll web form for new starters. So you'll want to head over to Payroll Manager, which can be found under the Services section. Select the company that you already added your new joiner or new joiners for. As a minimum, you will need to have entered their name and their email address in order to send them their payroll web form here. Once these two fields have been entered, you'll notice that we have this link here. So if I were to remove this for any reason and go back, you'll see this is not available. So let's add this back in. When a new employee is added, the default status is waiting on information. Upon the point that the employee finalises and completes their onboarding form, this will then change to new. You can manually override this by clicking on the employee and marking them as processed, at which point their status will show no changes. Otherwise, if a payroll change is entered here, they will lose this status completely, and instead it will show updated to indicate there are payroll changes. So we're going to go ahead and send the onboarding form. You have the option to cancel if you're not quite ready yet. It's worth noting that the client is also able to send their employees this form. Now if we refresh the page, you'll see when the form was last sent, and you have the option to resend the form, as this link does expire after 72 hours. It's worth noting that you'll need to set up your student loan types ahead of sending out any onboarding forms. So currently we've formatted the payroll web form from a UK tax perspective. We're also working on formatting for other countries right now, so watch this space. Simply click on Add Loan Type, enter the name, description, and then decide whether this is active or inactive. So you'll see here for the UK we've got plans 1, 2, 4, postgrad, and plan 5. Plan 5 has been marked as inactive because it's not in effect yet. This will come in effect at the start of the new year. Now we're going to have a look to see what the employee sees when they are sent the form. Here is their link, and we're going to fill out the form from the perspective of the employee. The employer has already filled out their weekly working hours and annual salary, so there's nothing to do here. Minimum fields that must be entered are date of birth, P45 status, student loan status, and gender and start date. So if P45 available is selected, the user cannot proceed unless they upload a document. If the other statuses are selected, then they must confirm their new starter declaration. There's help right here, so they can make the informed decision. If student loan is selected, they'll then be asked if they're eligible for repayments. If they then select yes to eligible for repayments, they have the option to then select their student loan plan types. They have the option to select a custom percentage here for their pension. They can add in other comments, their address and their national insurance number, and then press complete onboarding to finalise the form. At this point, the analyst and the client will receive an email to let them know the form's been updated. And when we head back over to our payroll manager, we'll see the status of this is now new.